Hi, and welcome back to Bookkeepers Bootcamp. I'm Zoe Whitman. I'm here with Joe Wood, and we're joined by Freddie Minns. Hi, Freddie. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you two doing?
We're all right. We've had a really busy afternoon. We've just come off of an amazing session with Lara Manton, and I know you tuned into that one as well, which was actually really good timing because she was talking about how much she uses Dext in her business. So it's kind of set us up.
Yes.
Very well. So if you're watching now, jump in the comments and say #live, or if you're watching back on replay, let us know on #replay. Thank you so much for all joining us. We're excited to learn more about our sponsor, Dext, this afternoon, and we're gonna let Freddie lead the way. So Freddie, just tell us a little bit about you and how you got working with Dext.
Sure. Yeah. My name is Freddie Minns. I've been with Dext for about 2 years now, coming up to 2 years. Actually, next week is my 2-year anniversary, and I just caught the last part of your call with Lara talking about how people move around, and I'm not a software type. Dext is my one and only so far. No, forever. But no, I love Dext. Been here for 2 years. Been working with hundreds of bookkeepers and accountants to help them grow their business, understand where these different systems fit in. Before that, I worked in an accountancy practice, so I was there for many years, where my roles were bookkeeping, accounts preparation, VAT, so sort of spread across different areas of the business. My role then evolved a little bit into looking at the technology. So we were quite a traditional practice when I joined, and I'll go into a bit more detail of the story behind that in a bit. But yeah, it was quite a traditional practice. We digitized the practice, and that's where my relationship with Dext started, or was Receipt Bank at the time. I think we're allowed to still say that. Is that dead naming if you say it for a company? I don't know. But yes, Receipt Bank, now Dext, for those of you who don't know. I reached out to Dext. I fancied a change in my career 2 years ago. And yeah, since then, just been helping bookkeepers, accountants like you guys. I know Joe's a big advocate, which is nice to see you, Joe, and really good to see you guys doing this as well. This boot camp for the first week of January has come at a good time. I think everyone's a bit sluggish after Christmas and eating too much, and this is a good way to focus the brain, I think, for sure. I wasn't going to do this, but I'm actually using a celebrations box as my makeshift laptop stand because my laptop stand's broken. So I'm repurposing my Christmas chocolate for this webinar. But yeah, that's a bit of background about me. And yeah, nice to see you both. And yeah, really like what you two are doing, by the way, with this community. Really important, I think, for anyone that's new coming into the industry, learning off people like you, and hopefully technology companies like us to share knowledge and try and work out what's best for them, for what they're trying to achieve. So yeah, thanks for being a part of that.
Oh no, and thank you as well for standing behind us this week. It's the first time we've had a sponsor for anything that we've done, and it was one of those chance conversations, and it's just so nice for the industry to really acknowledge what is happening within the bookkeeping space. We're here to do this because we want to have a way to support bookkeepers, because Joe and I found that when we were running practices, we didn't really have anyone to speak to about it. Joe's described several times that we went to you'd go to a conference once a year and you talk to people, and then you'd be like really fired up, and then you'd go back and be like, oh, I'm kind of on my own again. And we wanted to change that and also share a lot of what we've learned along the way. And actually now we've got to that sort of point where there are so many people involved. It's not just us sharing, it's other people sharing too, and the support of those people and learning the shortcuts and learning the ways that have worked just help everyone move at a much faster pace than you would be able to if you're trying to work out the way on your own. So I'm really interested in your practice background and in that sort of traditional practice setting, because I've been in that position as well, where I've had a big range of clients, and some of them have been actually really forward thinking and want everything to be done today, and lots of other people who just want to leave it to the end. And I guess that you've seen that sort of move as well. How has it been a really rapid change for this, or do you think that people are still sort of catching up with the idea of being on the cloud?
Yeah, I think we've obviously gone through a bit of a a journey with different levels of mindset of accountants and bookkeepers. At the start of Dext's journey, we were obviously approached by a lot of the more progressive people that wanted this technology. We're now speaking to a lot of people that we're trying to, that maybe still not quite there. There's obviously not as many now, but yeah, there's obviously still some there. And the practice I worked in at the time was doing things a little bit manually. It was quite a torture to do a lot of the work because I remember one of the first jobs I did was a client would bring in a bag of receipts, and obviously everyone's heard this story now, but bringing in a bag of receipts at the end of a quarter or a month. I remember once there was a Rice Krispie stick to one of the receipts or something, horrible, smelly, smells of smoke kind of receipts of bag of receipts, which no one misses that. But again, getting this bag of receipts, writing out on a spreadsheet as fast as possible. I was thinking I was doing a great job at getting all these receipts onto a spreadsheet. So again, starting the journey there, then trying to find different solutions. So again, going to networking events, going to accounting or Accountex at the time, trying to find different solutions that are going to help us automate, make it more enjoyable for the staff as well. It's obviously a big part of that. When we speak to partners, we're saying, this is the cost of the software, but again, you have to think of the staff as well. Are they happy with doing things manually? So again, it was a case of looking at what we had, or the systems we had at that time, which was manually putting things in, and then looking at softwares like Xero, QuickBooks, Receipt Bank at the time, and now Dext. So looking at these softwares to say, how are they going to help us move from this to that? And the company I worked for had quite a few clients. It was quite a big project of actually changing everyone's mindset. I think mindset is a massive thing with technology. And actually, if you don't have the mindset right, then it doesn't work.
And don't you think there was so much resistance as well at the beginning? Because I remember when I was first introduced to Receipt Bank, oh goodness, I remember the time someone told me about Receipt Bank. I remember the moment they explained to me what it was, and it was in a network meeting about something completely different. It was like a network marketing thing or something. And this guy, he was, oh, you're a bookkeeper. Have you heard of Receipt Bank? And I was like, no. And he's like, oh my goodness, this is going to blow your mind. And then he started telling me about it. And I remember like vividly the point. And then I went home and researched it, and I was like, oh my goodness. But the thought that came into my head back then was, I'm gonna not have a job anymore. Like, why is anyone going to need me? This is what I do. And I felt fear. And then I remember speaking to the accountancy firm I was working with in partnership at the time and things like that. And they were all like, oh my goodness, this is trouble. This is like the end. This is the end of us kind of thing. And so I think we've come a long way now. I think we don't really have those conversations anymore about how software's stealing our jobs, because we've realized that we can service more clients, leverage our time, put our focus, it stops. And this is how the bookkeeper is becoming, up leveled and standing side by side with the accountant, because no longer are we doing data entry. That is all automated for us now. So it's been, and that's thanks to software like Receipt Bank back in the day, Dext, because if that hadn't have happened, we might have still been, as I called it, or have said, little wifey in the corner doing hubby's books and not lifting her head or actually putting an opinion in about anything. We would have just kept doing the reconciliations and the admin side of it. Whereas now this has leveraged us to think, okay, right, well, that bit's done. That's done. So what's next? What do we need to do? How can we communicate what we're actually getting out of this information to our clients, which is amazing, which means we all earn much more money, more profitable, and it's exciting what it can do. So when you've got say someone's listening here, maybe they've come from a traditional practice, maybe they're working in a traditional practice, or they're in industry. And a couple of years ago I was in industry, but we were still filing paperwork, even though I was trying to get them onto it, but they didn't want to. And sometimes how do we change the mindset of what kind of benefits do you tell people? The fact that we don't have to deal with smoky, horrible, sticky paperwork anymore was enough. for me. And obviously with COVID, actually, I'm sure we saw a lot of shift, and that's what Lara was saying, that it forced some of her clients to move digital and virtual because of COVID. So that's been one thing that's actually helped people shift a lot. But how do you change the people's mindset that are traditional, always using paper, and think, oh, I like to file it, I like to tick it off, I like to know where it is, or else I worry? How do you talk to them about that?
With difficulty sometimes, with all things, but again, things like using MTD, I used to always use that as a, this is legislation now. This is what we need from you. This is how we do it internally. We can't now process the information in the way you give it to us because it's not efficient enough, and we're going to have to charge you a lot more for that. If you can get it into us in this way, which is the Dext way, it means that we can give you a price that's going to work for you. If you give it to us manually in a bag of receipts, we're going to have to charge you a lot more. Like, is that really what you want as a client? So again, it's just, positioning the value of getting the information to you in a different way, but also because you now have that information, positioning the services that you can now offer to the client because you have that information in. So, before we were only doing quarterly, getting the VAT done on the last deadline or the day of the deadline, but now we're getting the information in quicker, and we're using, metrics on the Dext dashboard to identify the average time it takes a client to submit an item compared to the invoice date. Metrics like that can allow you to then open up a conversation to say, look, because you're getting the information into us in good time, we can now start to provide this service for you. We can now start to use other softwares to provide cash flow forecasting, for example, actual genuine higher level or valuable information for clients. So again, it's just, I suppose, positioning the value of that, repurposing your times for higher value conversations, I suppose.
It's really tricky, isn't it? Because I can just imagine this conversation with someone who has always brought in a bag of receipts. We were talking to a free agent about MTD earlier. You got a client who's always brought in a load of receipts with Rice Krispies stuck to them. Oh my God, the stuff I've seen. Anyway, they bring it in, they pay you.
But yeah, there's a Rice Krispie.
Sorry? A Rice Krispie.
The Rice Krispie always sticks in my mind, but it must have been a haunting moment for me. Sorry.
For me, it was the guy who tried to claim for his pants. Like, that still sticks with me. So it's like, you see everything about people, don't you, when you get that bag of receipts? And so they bring their stuff in, end of the year, they want you to do their tax return, charge you, they expect to pay you 300 quid or something for all of your work, and then see you again next January the 28th or something. Yeah. And now we're going to this place where we need to say to people, well, actually, if you keep bringing it to me like this, I'm going to have to charge you more. So I want you to start using this software that you don't want to use. So they expect us to charge them less because it's also automated. So it's actually having the confidence to actually say, well, look, where do you really want to be? What do you really want your business to look like in the future? Because actually, if we do this properly, I can help you to get there, rather than you get to the end of next year and be like, why is my payment on account this much? I have no idea what's going on. Like, I thought you always got me a refund, So it's having the confidence and the courage to be able to have those conversations and say, well, actually, the way we do things has completely changed. And I think there are so many people who are stuck that we get resistance because we can't work out what the words are to say to those people still, maybe.
Yeah. And I think also the confidence to walk away as the bookkeeper if they're not willing to do what you need them to do. Like, what is the impact it has internally if you're client led and the client is deciding what's happening? The benefit of you having that client, is it worthwhile? If you concentrate on the top 20% of your clients or 80%, this is going to be a lot more beneficial long term. And actually, if you are confident with a client and say, look, unfortunately, the partnership's not quite right, based on how you want to give the information and based on how we collect information, it's not quite right, but I know other bookkeepers or accountants we can put you onto. Actually, by saying that, almost makes them think, oh, hang on, maybe this is the right, I need to maybe readdress what I'm thinking here. So it's having that confidence. And I suppose that's been a bit of a theme, isn't it, across these sessions, that what can you have behind you and what data can you have behind you to give you more confidence in these conversations? And that's where Dext, I know we haven't actually spoke about what Dext does, but
I was just going to ask, I was just going to say, yes. I feel like it's a really good point for the people that are thinking, what is Dext?
Yes.
And because we had someone before saying, oh my goodness, I'm new, I'm studying, all this new software is really overwhelming. So what is Dext?
Sure. Yeah. So Dext is a suite of products. So we've got 3 products. Dext Prepare, which was sort of our core product, which we started off with. Dext Precision, and Dext Commerce. So we've got 3 products in the suite. We usually advise, if you're just starting out, to go for Dext Prepare to start off with, because it's the core, getting the information from a client, invoices, receipts, from a client and into an accounting software. So we integrate with all of the major sort of general ledgers. Dext Prepare does, so your Xeros, your QuickBooks, Sage 1, so whichever you prefer. Dext Prepare will integrate with them, send receipts into those different softwares. And what you can do with that is actually add a lot of automation. So instead of manually putting this information into these softwares, Dext collects it from the client, automates, and allows you to set categories for the different nominal codes, different tax rates, products or services. That allows you to set up rules to say, actually, now this is the supplier rule is set, I want to send this automatically through into the software. So again, Joe might be able to speak about the kind of time savings that it can bring. But if you think about, you're just starting out, you've got 20 clients, 30 clients, they've all got 100 or 150 transactions each. If you were to automate 20 or 30% of those transactions across the month, the time it saves you compared to the investment of taking out sort of like a relationship with one of these companies that does data extraction like Dext, can hopefully save you a lot of time, allow you to free that time up to speak about that higher value work that we talked about before.
Yeah, and as well, compared to like outsourcing it to somebody else, if you're the person that's setting up the rules and the supplier rules and things, you've got that control that we was talking about when you're a sole practitioner, that you still want to gain that control. Maybe you're new, so you don't really want to outsource it yet because you're not really sure what you're doing yet. You want to kind of have this control. Then so I kind of class Dext as my first employee that I took on, that I've set up, and tried to set up as many rules and auto publish as much as possible, so that it was a massive leverage of my time. And then what I did afterwards is I brought in a junior member of staff just to manage it, and he still does. That's like the very base layer, just converting a photo into an entry into Xero or QuickBooks or whatever. That's the first thing it does. But that is the bulk. And once you've automated that is a big lot of the work, the chunky bit of the work done. So that's, I think that is the main thing that Dext does, and then there's other things on top. Yeah.
So that's the core of what we do. So taking the information with very good accuracy. So we've worked obviously quite a few years to make sure the accuracy of all the data is very, very high, and that's what a lot of the partners that we work with value us for, is actually having the confidence in the data that Dext is pushing through. If you look across the market at the sort of accuracy, we are really, really strong. And obviously, because we value that as a really important part of bookkeeping, if that data is not right at the start, then you're going to have to then review that to then change it. And it's all sort of this effect of or knock-on effect of time that you're losing. So again, very accurate. We can also build in efficiencies with that. So just to making sure that when that information is coming in, we're getting that into the system as efficient as possible. You mentioned there, Joe, as well, that you're employing another bookkeeper. I've had quite a few instances over the 2 years that I've been here where someone has come to me. We've had a discussion about, where are you looking to go to? What's your goals? I want to grow the business. At the minute, it's just me and someone else. We're at capacity. We can't take on anything more, but we want to grow. So we're going to have to hire someone else. So what we do at Dext is we'd look at your account and say, okay, is there anything we can do before we hire someone else for £20,000 a year? Can we look at anything internally in your systems that can help you grow that little bit more before hiring someone else? So we'd look at the account and say, actually, if you were to automate or auto publish some of the items from from Dext into Xero. That would actually going to free up this amount of time and would work out the amount of time it would save. With that time, you can then take on more clients. So that's what we try and do, is work with accountants, bookkeepers, identify where we can save time, because ultimately that then opens up the opportunity for them to reach their goals, whether that be working 4 days a week instead of 5, or going to the golf course every Friday, or getting your nails done, or adding new services onto what you're doing. So Joe, I think Joe mentioned there, previously you're doing the bookkeeping, old Dex has come along, it's going to take away our jobs, we need to maybe look at different services. That's where you sort of evolve into. You're automating that bottom level. You're then bringing in services to add value, and that's where it sort of fits in, I suppose.
Yeah, and I think what I find is that I don't have this issue with trying to convert people over to Dext, because I explained to them in the sales call, this is how we work. We use this, you will receive this app. And it's very, very big part of our onboarding process is the Dext training. Mm-hmm. So when my first onboarding process, I'll invite somebody to Dext. They will download the app on their phone. They will take a photo of something while we're on the call together. I will share my screen. I'll show them what the photo looks like. Sometimes it might just be a selfie or a picture of the wall or something, because they haven't got an invoice or a receipt around. But I just show them how it all works. And then what I do is, and this is really our first onboarding meeting, it's all about Dext. And then we say, right, we're going to send you a list of missing items from the first month that we're working with you. So say we're 6 months in, we only do 1 month at a time as to not overwhelm. We make sure we've got that month before we move on. Yeah. And I absolutely love the Dext Fetch. I use it, and the thing is as well, like with all software, I use it in my business first. And for Amazon, Audible, all of the things that are every single month that are all going to come out, I love the fact that I can go in, put in my login details, and Dext will check that account every few days and download the invoices for me. Things like mobile phone bills, like Vodafone and stuff. Like business owners do not want to have to go into Vodafone every month and download the invoice. That is not a good use of their time. So Dext Fetch does that for them. And that really, if I show them that at the beginning, they're then invested in working with me to make this work. So then when we start going through some of our items, say, and we can see that there's a subscription for something, we will check out Dext Fetch, see if we could do it, and then we'll invite the client to put in their login details then and there. And that's something we're doing all the time to streamline the fact, getting the information out of clients. Yeah.
No, yeah, it's important. I think, and once that information's in as well, there's so many different ways that Dext can then help in terms of getting that missing information piece you just mentioned there, sending a report to a client to say, actually, you've given us this information, but this is the missing information based on the unreconciled items on the bank feed, for example. So there's quite a few different layers you can go into as well to help that. And if you show clients that and send them or show them an example of a report to say, look, this software that we're using, we give you the app, we set you up with invoice fetch, like you just mentioned. So those items are going to come in automatically. We're then going to give you the app. We're going to give you the email in address, which is an address that you send invoices into Dext. Once you've done that, we're then going to send you a report on a weekly basis. And what I usually suggest is to do this with clients, is to say, look, we're going to send you a report every week if you haven't sent us the information. That's then going to give you the foundation to then say, look, we can do weekly bookkeeping with you now because we can get the information a bit quicker. So yeah, it's lots of different features. I know Joe uses them all, which is nice.
I can't help thinking back to the chat we have with Lara just now about how you could then automate that report. Can you automate that report going out to them? Could you automate the report from the software to say these are the unreconciled transactions and just send it out to them? So it's just like removing you having to do anything. Like, remember the days when you'd have to go in and like work out, reconcile, find bits of paper and then what's missing and then download a spreadsheet and somehow attach it to an email and all of that stuff. Like, we don't have to do it like that anymore. And this is where we can remove ourselves from the data entry.
And what it is, so it's even easier than that, is that the client gets a notification from their Dext app, and it provides them with a list. And in there you can write notes as well. So that's what Daniel does for us. Who's my son, who's 18, he manages Dext, and he's in charge. So they get a notification. So that's also part of the onboarding, checking that their notifications are on. And then we send them a little thing. Okay, have you seen it? Okay, you can see it come through. That's where you're going to be notified. It's not even an email. It's not a spreadsheet. It's a mobile app notification. It's like moved on so far, isn't it?
Yeah, if you go from what was before of, like you just mentioned there, Zoe, asking for the records, they come in a bag, and then once you get the records, you actually then have to go through them and then work out what's missing and then send an email. They have to attach it to an email, then send it to you. So if you tell this story to clients of, look, this is the process before, this is what we do with Dext, and this is why we use it internally. Do you want to be a partner with us? Then having the confidence to say that. Sure.
A few people are coming up in the chat saying about other competitors, because there is other software out there and there are other ways that clients can submit information, maybe for free. And I'm just wondering why, is it okay to talk about what differentiates Dext over a free tool that people might be using?
Sure. Yeah. So one of the things I usually suggest to do when you're looking at competitors and trying to work out what's best for you is looking at reviews of accuracy of data, support that you get with the product as well is always a good place to look as well. Looking at or attending webinars like this and hearing from bookkeepers who use the product of the different areas that you get from. But there are quite a few. I won't go on a feature by feature comparison with these different products, but we're obviously quite a lot feature rich compared to some of these products as well. But also providing the mindset and the support around the product, which is obviously quite important, I think, with all products. And I know you've had James Ashford on one of the previous calls, and Go Proposal is a really good product, but the actual structure around it is even better, and it's revolutionized how people price for their work. And I'll talk a little bit about Dext Precision and how that helps with that side of things as well. But yeah, in terms of looking at different products in the market, again, looking at reviews online, watching things like this is the first good thing to do. And yeah, looking at the support and onboarding support as well, for sure.
And I find with Dext, it's the fact that your Dext is coming at it for accountants and bookkeepers. So like the practice view is very good. The percentage, so they so for me to manage Daniel in his role, like my account manager gives me updates on the percentages of things that have auto-published and how many. So rather than I don't always do timesheets with him, but I can tell. I know how many items have been pushed through on Dext and whether he's had a good month or a bad month on that, or if he's always improving because he's putting in those efficiencies. So and he has been. So he's actually adding value by you. And for him, Orange Select, which is the area where you can go and points mean prizes for an 18-year-old. He's got Amazon vouchers. He's always working towards something. Like he goes in there, logs in every day. He shares things on LinkedIn. So what other software is helping engage my staff to be better at utilizing the software and motivating them? It's the gamification, which is like the young generation want. It's just so far-fetched from the bag of receipts. It's like it's mad. And I know Lara was saying like she was second and Natasha was first in like the Dext Global Challenge for sole traders, and we were like 8 for limited companies. And he was really excited to have some control. And it's all about, I just find it's completely not just about the software. It's about how it helps you to, and the mindset around the company and how Dext help you to be a better practice. Yeah.
And give you the confidence to do that by sharing knowledge with we have the Orange Select community. I know you just mentioned it there, Joe, but just so everyone else who hasn't heard of it, Orange Select is a community within Dext where you can share best practice. You can also win points to win different kind of awards, Apple Watches and Amazon vouchers and that kind of thing. It's a way that we help our partners share insights, share best practice, but also win awards at the same time and win badges to prove that you're a proper Dexter. That's what we do. I think Joanna just does Dext process sales, invoice and bank statements. Yes, Joanna. Yeah. So part of Dext Prepare we have a sales invoice feature, which means that if you have any invoices that you want to get into QuickBooks Zero Sage 1, we can process that data and push it into the software. Same with bank statements. We can convert bank statements from PDFs or that kind of thing into CSVs, but we also have bank feed as well, which you can automatically add your bank feed into Dext. On the sales invoice side, we also do have a product called Dext Commerce, which is if your clients are selling on digital commerce platforms like Amazon, Etsy, WooCommerce, eBay. Thanks, Karen. Oh yeah, I know Karen. Nice to see you, Karen. So Dext Commerce is pulling information from these different platforms, Shopify, WooCommerce, Amazon, that kind of thing. So if you've got any clients in that area, definitely worth having a look. It's going down pretty well at the minute with partners, and it's just collecting sales information from these platforms, allowing you to then manipulate that data within Dext Commerce, almost like you do in Dext Prepare, and then pushing that into either Xero or QuickBooks is who we integrate with at the minute with Dext Commerce. With Dext Commerce, the process before might be that you're downloading reports from Amazon or downloading reports from Shopify, having to manipulate data and post journals in. So what Dext Commerce does is it takes away that need, because we integrate directly. It's a time-saving tool, but also a compliance tool. With digital commerce, it's a bit of a minefield. Different VAT rates for different countries, and I used to absolutely hate it. I had a few clients that sold on eBay and these different platforms, and it was a bit of a mess, to be honest, because we didn't do anything to help. So we obviously help you configure it at the start and help you pull this data in to then push it in.
And now we've got Brexit on top with new VAT rules, etc. It's just got even more fun. But absolutely, because or else, this is what we have to explain, is that the net amount that's received in the bank, actually, we need to gross it up, and then you've got all the fees and everything, and that's what Dext Commerce does. So we spoke about Dext Prepare, which is extracting the data from receipts as quickly and as efficiently as possible and putting it through to Xero, QuickBooks, etc. And then you've got Dext Commerce dealing with the sales side of things. If you've got online digital businesses that have loads of transactions, that can really help with that. Then you have Dext Precision. So Dext Precision, the business used to be called Xavier.
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 Or Xavier. They don't even know which one they used to call it either. They all call it different, the team. So Xavier, one of them.
So I use that as well in my practice now. And again, my son Daniel manages that side of things. And again, it's like the gamification, which clients are at 100% of the health score of each of these clients. So just, do you want to explain what Dext Precision does?
I absolutely love Dext Precision. Not that I've got a favourite child of the three, but when I first saw it, it was almost like a bit of a whoa moment of this is what is actually needed in the market. So what Dext Precision does is it identifies within. We currently integrate with Xero and QuickBooks. We integrate with Xero and QuickBooks, and we look at the data and we say, okay, what is the quality of this data based on various intelligent checks we run in the background? So things like duplicate transactions that they can see within Xero, or a contact that's been coded incorrectly based on historic transactions. So lots and lots of different checks that we run in the background on either Xero, thank you, Steph, Xero and QuickBooks, to ensure the quality of the data. So again, really important for confidence of what you're doing as a bookkeeper. Like, okay, what is a good question to ask yourself now? Like, what actual confidence do you have over the quality of the data that's going out if you're not actually reviewing every single transaction? It's quite hard to know. What Precision does, it surfaces everything that might be an error to the surface or an anomaly. Not necessarily an error, but something that maybe we need to speak to about the client. So it brings up different conversations with the client. And then what we actually do with that is we give a health score as well, based on the quality of the data. So based on how many unreconciled bank transactions, how many duplicate transactions, all of these different things within the system, We then give a health score based on the quality of the data. So this is where we can start to gamify parts of it, either internally or with clients, to say, we took over your bookkeeping. We loaded your data into our bookkeeping system. It was at 43%. It's now at 80%, and this is what we've done with the data. So again, it's backing you up. It's giving the client confidence that actually Jo's doing some good work, because she's proved it with some pretty reports and numbers. And this actually does relate back to in the pricing side of things as well. And Dext Precision does fit into that really nicely. You can use these health scores and the quality of the data, the percentages, to say to a client, we're happy to take on this work at the start of the engagement. You're currently at 48% health. It's going to take us a little bit of work to get it to where it needs to be, 80, 90%. So this is what we're going to charge for the cleanup work. And then this is what we're going to charge on a monthly basis after that.
Cool. That's so useful, because I think people really struggle going into those conversations, because you don't always know what you're about to get yourself into. And then we often find people undercharging for that work, or it going on for ages because they just didn't anticipate it. And then it feels uncomfortable to have that conversation, even though we know we should go back and talk to those people. So that is really helpful to know. And one of the questions that's come up has been, no clients yet. How far would you go in sourcing software and investing in technology ahead of finding clients? Because it is an investment, isn't it? When you choose to bring a tool into your business, but you know it's going to help you, you know it's going to be actually worth your while to spend your money, invest in this particular tool, this knowledge that's going to help you to build your business. But yet the money isn't coming in yet. What decision process do you need to go through because Jo, you, like, when you started your practicing back in 2019, I guess you decided at that point, I'm going to need Dext. Did you have but you were familiar with it already. So I don't know who's posted this, sorry. But I'm thinking, like, you would have a plan for, like, when do I intend to bring in clients? What do I need to go out and find out about right now? And what is the trigger point for me at which I will say, now is the time to bring that software on board? Because you can do the training ahead of this, can't you? You don't need to, like, sign up straight away.
No, and that's the thing. You get support. You can get support from your account manager. Like, have the conversation with them. Tell them about your journey that you're going on. Say, I've got no money yet. I've got no clients. But when I do have clients, this is how I'd like it to work. And they will support you through that. So, I mean, I don't think it's ever because if you don't use, so for example, another thing about Dext Precision, which is my absolute favorite thing about Dext Precision, is that it links with Go Proposal and then tells me how many purchase invoices I'm going to be, how many purchase invoices, how many bank statement items there are. So it helps me, Dext Precision helps me price correctly with Go Proposal. That the power of that and the money and the profit I can make by utilizing that software, if I didn't do it, I could be losing money. And so it's like a no-brainer to me, because or else if I didn't have Dext, then I'd have had to take on a member of staff, because how am I going to sell and market and brand and onboard and do the invoicing and all of the things I have to do as a business owner, as well as do all of the work myself? I know lots of people would say, it's expensive, but at least I can do the work. And I do say this to Zoe all the time. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And yes, you can do it. So that's why you're the right person to implement the supplier rules and get these things set up and make sure that you're utilizing it and leveraging it as much as possible. But I know that this is why the software programs give you trials and things like that, and they will help you. It's in their interest. I just say, if you don't ask, you don't get. It's in their interest. I'm sure Freddie would say he'd much prefer somebody who's got no clients right now to be on their books doing the training and get ready to be with Dext as soon as they on board, and then they're going to help you build. It's a win-win, isn't it? And then I know Dext do a bit different in the fact that you sign up for like a 12-month contract compared to other ones which are just monthly. But you do that with the holistic approach and the sales and the help of how you're going to build your practice, and actually they hold you accountable to your goals and things. So it's I think it's never too early to invest and start learning and figuring out what your app stack is going to be, and making sure you understand how it is. Like we were saying the other day, that actually some people are scared about selling because they don't know what the next steps are when they've sold. So, you know, like I say, a lot of my onboarding is all about Dext. So I need to be able to use that, or else it's just a false economy.
Yeah, it's the startup costs of, if you're committed to doing this as a profession and you want to go for it. We didn't get a name for that person, did we? Facebook user. But yeah, if you're looking to start up and you're committed to doing it, obviously being on this boot camp is a good start, because you've got the right mindset that you're trying to find information from different places. So again, just pick up different information from different places, speak to software providers. Again, like Joe said, happy to have a conversation with you on, you know, what you're trying to accomplish, your goals, if Dext is going to fit into that or not. Again, we'll be completely honest with you. We'll try and help you compared to, or we'll line you up against others that we've helped to get started as well, to say, look, this is what we've done with others. This is what we can do for you. Though again, it's an investment at the start, but it's about having that confidence of, yeah, I'm going to do this. Let's get going. You know, I trust Dext as a company because they're incredible. But oh, I've got another question.
Here's a question. So Leander says, what's the best way to improve your use of Dext and learn how to improve and maximize any efficiencies? I guess we've got lots of people here who've been using it for a long time and maybe have not really had like conversations with account managers or really reviewed what's changed, because a lot has changed in the last couple of years. Sure.
So what's the best way to improve your use of Dext and learn how to improve? Definitely speak to if you don't know your account manager, then let Joe or Zoe know, and I will find them for you to reach out to you. But yeah, your account manager is your trusted business partner. They will help you. They will give you information, like Joe just said there, give you information to help you use Dext, how it should be used. We've got a partner success team internally that will help you. If you're not getting the best use out of Dext and you want to optimize it, we can do internal training to help you get the most out of it. We can give you metrics. So again, we do have a lot of support available. Just reach out to us and we can put that in place for sure. But yeah,
we've got a lot of questions about pricing. So the people that this is brand new for, and they're like, okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
How much does it cost?
Sure, for Dext, all the pricing.
I think they want to know all the different elements. There's a few questions in there.
Yeah, okay. Well, should I talk through the different products and then we'll talk through the pricing, or send the pricing at the end? Up to you. But yeah, we have for Dext Prepare. Let's do the pricing now. Dext Prepare, it starts at a 5-client bundle. So if you're just starting out, you can have a 5-client bundle, £75 per month. And we also have an unlimited model, which is £299 a month, and that's based on users. So again, 2 user for Optimize is £299 a month, or a 5-client bundle if you're just starting out, it's £75 a month. But again, yeah, if you're interested in looking at it, reach out to one of these two, and we're happy to have a conversation.
Is that that's plus VAT, isn't it? VAT is on top.
Plus VAT, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That's fine.
Prepare. So yeah, the other 2 products work a bit differently, which we can go through. But yeah, in terms of Dext Precision, it works out at £5 a month per client. Roughly, it does scale down as you go a little bit higher. And Dext Commerce is £37.50 per month. We need this.
well. I think there was something. I think there was going to be something on offer for our community, wasn't there? So we will talk about that. But yeah, someone said, so because I know everyone's saying how great it is. There's this one that just said, I asked for a demo, but the Dext guy said my client was too small for 2.5 million turnover, and to just find YouTube videos to learn from. That sounds a bit strange.
No, we might have misheard you there. Yeah, that's not too small. Don't worry. That's
no.
No one's too small, by the way. We work with, the top 10 accountants in the UK, but also just anyone, any size. So again, don't feel like you're too small to speak to us. We're happy to speak to you for sure.
There's the question about VAT which keeps coming up. Like, first off, in terms of like paying for software, we got to remember that we can pass this cost on to our clients. So think of this as an investment that's going to help you leverage your time, help you grow your business, help you say, like, every time you do something new like this, you're going to be learning something, so you're better the next time with your next client. So it's going to be quicker, putting it all in place. The plus VAT thing, if you think about the business you want to grow, like, listen, you heard us talking to Lara just now. Lara's grown her business to £1,000 off of a 6-figure turnover. Okay, she's had to register for VAT, and she's been running her practice for 11 years, and within the last 18 months or so, she has shifted her mindset. She has realized that if she wants to grow her business and really make it a success for her, and actually she's seen that she's able to do that, she's been able to push her boundaries, and now she's registered for VAT. Now she's able to reach even further than that and get to that higher level of turnover. If you see your business as a business that can grow, and you're prepared to bring the right tools in to help you do that, you can register for VAT. You can save yourself some of that cost as well. So just remember, I just see this as like it's a saving. I'm not recommending registering for it, but it's just one of those extra mindset shifts to keep in mind all the time, isn't it?
Absolutely. And just so you know as well, like, Dext is a profit center for us because we charge the fees on. So I charge £20 a month to my clients for utilizing Dext. And then, so if you thought about the 5 of them, that would be £100 plus VAT, because I'm VAT registered, and it's going to cost you 75. So there's already a bit of money made there. So why don't think outside the box? Doesn't have to be a cost. That I just pass every one of my software in my Go proposal is listed. If you want all these things, this is what it's going to cost you. And the precision, even, that is, I don't charge for the precision, because I see that as my tool to ensure that there's no scope creep. Yeah. So I ensure that, and that makes me, because I'm paying for that, makes me review all my prices every quarter. I can quickly go on, before I have a monthly meeting with my clients, I quickly go on to Go Proposal. I press the Powered by Dext Precision tab, press that. It tells me what they should be, it tells me what they are paying, and then tells me what they should be paying. Yep. So I can just change the thing. So that is well worth the £5, because I tell you what, scope creep is always more than £5 a month that is going up by. So so yeah, it's so intuitive and so forward thinking, and it's going to push you forward and give you the confidence. Like I say, all my onboarding is around this. I've got that tool, and I can go step by step by step. We've even created videos, which I have shared with Dext, because my brother-in-law creates videos, and we've got videos of like our mobile phone. This is where you're going to get the notification. Make sure you switch your notifications on, and because it's so integral to our business, it's worthwhile us making videos on how our clients use it. And it's just, I love it, as you can tell. There's so many questions and things coming in. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, feel free to pop one forward if you think it's worth answering, Zoe. But yeah, just in terms of that, you talk about Go Proposal there and Dext Precision for pricing. So again, a lot of people who just see Dext Precision for the first time just see it as that initial, it gives you a health score based on the data. That's great. What a lot of people that I work with use Dext Precision for is to say, once I have these people on board after that initial engagement and I've priced for the work based on the data, if you start to price based on transaction levels and turnover and monitor that with your clients, you can use Precision to say, here's a list of my clients, here's the month-on-month transaction change, here's the month-on-month turnover change. So not an area that everyone uses as much as I think it should be used, but there's a report that you can run maybe on a monthly basis, quarterly basis. Hopefully monthly would be more beneficial. But what it's going to do is it's going to show you actually the clients with the most month-on-month change in transactions are probably the ones I'm doing more work for now than I was before. And it allows you to then proactively reach out or go into Go Proposal to redo the pricing for those clients. And I've had lots of partners come back to me to say, using this report has really helped me identify every month, as soon as someone goes into a next bracket of transactions. Say, for example, you do for bookkeeping, 0 to 50 transactions is X amount, 50 to 100 is X amount. if you can tag that within precision and identify when these clients are jumping these brackets, you can then put the prices up a little bit more regularly, and that should really counteract the £5 it sort of costs to run, along with all the time saving you get from, you know, the health checks that we run as well. So yeah, lots of different layers. I've just realised we're getting quite close to.
Yeah,
I know. It's been absolutely fascinating to hear about Dext and to answer people's questions, because I think these are questions that go around in the group quite a lot, and it's been really nice to have that focused time for people to be able to jump on and go, right, what do I need to know here? How does this work? How can I do that? I think there are more questions though, Freddie. Is there a way that we can get people to get in touch with you, or is there a better way for people to contact? I know you said account managers, but I'm just thinking about all of the people watching who might not know who their manager is or might be new to Dext. What's the best thing for them to do?
If you can take their information for me. So yeah, if you've got questions that haven't been answered, if you want to give them to Joe and Zoe.
I'll tell you what we will do later, not right now because I've got to go on the school run, is we will we'll put a form on our website. If you could bear with me, I will post a link to a form later on tonight where you can post your question, and then we can collect those for Dext. So it's probably going to be sixfigurebookkeeper.com/Dext, and we'll make sure that form is set up for you, and then we'll be able to pass those questions on to you, Freddie. So bear with me, that page will exist later on this evening.
Great. Once you've had your a wine.
Once my children have gone to bed and eaten their tea and all of those things. There's no wine involved. This is one of those things where Joe says, just because you can do everything yourself doesn't mean you should. And I end up creating a page on the website, but we can definitely do that. Thank you so much.
Do it in a different way, but if you wouldn't mind doing that, that'd be great.
That's fine.
I thought, didn't Dext have something to offer? I'm sure. No.
I know you can get a 30-day free trial. You can get a 30-day free trial of Dext, so you can do that straight through the homepage.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to. Was there a code? I'm not sure. We'll have to.
I thought I read something in one of the emails, but okay, we'll have to go back and have a look at that. No worries. No worries. We'll make sure.
Yeah, there might be. I'm not sure. I'll have to. But yeah, we'll let you know if there is, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
We'll do a post about it later.
Great.
Lovely. Thank you so much for your time, Freddie. Thank you, everyone who's been here with us this afternoon. Don't forget, it is the last session of Bookkeepers Bootcamp tonight. We're back at 8 o'clock. We're going to be live here. Wherever you're watching, we'll be in the Facebook group, Six Figure Bookkeepers Club, here on LinkedIn, here on YouTube. And we're speaking to 4 bookkeepers who are working with us through our 6-month success program. Don't forget that tonight is the cutoff. If you're thinking of signing up for the 6-month success program and you've heard the successes of bookkeepers who are working with us, if you've enjoyed being part of the community, if you're thinking, I've learned so much this week, but now I need the accountability to go and put it into action in my business, don't forget to sign up. We've got some great bonuses for people who sign up by Friday at midnight, and there's a new members call next Wednesday morning at 9:15. So don't miss out on that. If you want to message Joe or me to find out more about it, we are here. Facebook Messenger is probably the best place to get us and get the quickest response from us. Otherwise, we will see you back here at 8 o'clock. Thanks so much, Freddie. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Freddie.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Take care, everyone.